Hello, welcome back. Another video answering your questions from Instagram. The first question is quite interesting, and I'll tell you what. I feel like I can talk about this a little bit more now because of one of my students who works in a hospital in England and has shared some of the things that she sees on a daily basis at work. On a daily basis, she sees this practically every day. So the first question is, I heard more than once that people in England tend to be more depressive because of the weather, to the point of suicide. What was your impression? Right, I do feel, and I have to say this because I really, 12 years in England has showed me that the weather does, in fact, impact how we feel in life. So it's not the fact that it's cold, no. I think mostly it's the fact that it's quite dark and it's just gloomy, like dark and, windy and wet and cold and all of those things together. So it does actually impact how you feel. And if you pay attention to yourself, you don't have to be in England to do that. You can be in Brazil on those days where you wake up in the morning and it's bright, it tends to make you feel better about life. But of course, some of you guys will say to me, I hate the heat. I hate the heat means I hate hot weather. And so when I open the window in the morning and I see that it's in fact really sunny outside, I'm not in a good mood because I know I'm going to be sweating the whole day. Well, fine. But I'm not really talking about the heat. I'm talking about how bright it is. So in England, in the spring, we have lots of cold days, but they are quite bright a lot of the time. So it's freezing outside, but it's bright, it's sunny. And that lifts your mood, makes you feel better. Now, my student works in a hospital in England, and she has recently shared with us on one of the 100 Days mentoring sessions. 100 Days is my course. Mentoring sessions are the, meetings we have weekly in a group. She was saying that there are so many suicide attempts in the UK, in England. Attempts is like people trying to commit suicide, which is heartbreaking, so sad, so sad. And I do think the weather plays a role, has something to do with this, but that's not the only factor, The way people are in England, I think, makes them feel more lonely, and they then kind of dive into their feelings without sharing how they feel with others, and that will make them more depressed as well. So I don't think that people are more depressed in England because of the weather. I think they're more depressed in England because of the weather, because of the culture, because of the way they live life, and it is really quite true. If you have friends in England and you talk to people, you will notice that the way they are is most of the time more negative than the way Brazilians are, if you're comparing the two groups of people. And that's obviously a generalization, but I do think that it's quite true to some degree. Next question. Now, this question has got some little mistakes I'd like to correct as well. Do you still learning English? No. Are you still learning English? If so, what's the way? No. If so, how do you study? Okay, I don't study. I did not learn English studying English. I learned English by being exposed to English. So I continue to do the same thing. The difference is that I have learned how to expose myself in a way that I notice new vocabulary, that I notice new structures, that I notice pronunciation, but most importantly, that I am able to compare the words I'm using, the structures I'm using to what I am hearing or seeing if I'm reading. So I am in contact with English every day, even though I live in Brazil. I really, really pay attention to things I'm listening to books I'm reading. I try to, be open. I think this is very important. We tend to get to a point that we're like, I think my English is okay now. So when we have this kind of attitude towards learning, we're not open to actually noticing all of the things around us. And so we stop getting better, we stop improving. Whereas with me, I am open, I am aware, I am aware that as a non-native speaker, I'm always going to have so much to learn, and I'm not scared of it. I'm excited about learning. So yes, I am still learning English. I will be learning English until I die, because it's not my language. And if you think about your own language, in my case, I'm Brazilian, so if I think about Portuguese, that is my mother tongue, I am still learning as well. I'm interested in it. I want my Portuguese to be better. I want to express myself in a clearer way. So I'll be learning until I die, and I am so happy that that's the case with me, and I hope it's the case with you too. Right, next question. When did you realise that you were feeling confident speaking English? I get the impression that most of you guys watching me here and on Instagram, you feel like that there is a turning point, there is a moment, there is a specific situation that you start to feel confident. And so the moment you start feeling confident, you're going to be confident forever speaking English. And that's not really true. That's not what happens. What happens with confidence is situations start to happen where you feel like you're performing better, like you understand better or you speak better. And so you start to feel more confident about your English. But you may well be feeling super confident and then be hit by one situation that makes you very insecure and makes you question whether or not your English is as good as you thought. So confidence is not a turning point and something that you're going to then drag on throughout your whole life speaking that language. Confidence is about having those moments, those specific situations where you feel great about your English, but knowing also that the situations that don't make you feel so good will surely present themselves to you sooner or later. So don't let yourself be so knocked down by those situations and completely destroyed and having your self-esteem going down the drain because one thing didn't go well. It will happen. But I started to notice situations that made me feel confident when people understood what I was saying. Not because it was perfect, but because I was speaking in a way that sounded more like them, like the native speakers. So this probably happened after about a year, about 1 year in England. I started to have those situations where I said something and I noticed people understood, like without going like this, or like slightly turning their face to the side, like they're trying to understand. This started to not happen so much anymore. And it really changed how I was feeling. But I've had so many ups and downs, so many ups and downs. I've learned to deal with those. And nowadays, most things don't really get me to have a shaken confidence. I think I'm pretty stable with my confidence nowadays. One more question. Would you be able to try Marmite crunchy peanut butter? No! Yuck! Not a Marmite lover myself. Don't like it, don't understand the point of it, don't understand why it was even invented. Why? Can you tell me? God knows. Now, Marmite crunchy peanut butter. It's like Marmite with peanut butter. No, not trying this. I refuse. And you know what? I'm not a fussy eater. I'm not a fussy eater or a picky eater. It's like people that don't eat anything, you know, like, I don't like this. I'm not like that at all. I'll eat anything. I'll try anything. But I really don't like Marmite. I've tried it. So then trying Marmite, crunchy peanut butter, just makes me feel like I'm betraying myself. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm betraying myself. I'm not being loyal to myself if I do that. So no, I would not be able to do that. But I want to correct your question. It would sound more natural if you asked, would you be willing to try? Not able. Would you be willing? Would you be willing to try? It's like, would you be like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm ready. I'm so not willing. I hope you have enjoyed this video. There will be more, like I said, so many questions from you guys on that particular post about having tea with me. So I hope you keep enjoying them. Let me know in the comments if you have, and I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.